Denise, thank you so much.
Good morning. I made it.
What was that?
I said I made it. I just sent you at 4:58 my time for a 5 o'clock meeting. I sent you an emergency text. I couldn't find the link and I panicked, but I figured it out. Here I am.
You made it. So welcome. And welcome everyone. It's great to see you. Sorry, here's Christina. Connection unstable and keeps dropping out. Well, Christina, do the best you can. But good to see everyone. Welcome. It seems like it's going to be a bit of a smaller group this month, but that's okay. I like smaller groups because we can really get into some stuff. It's exciting. Always to be here. I love open forums. I don't know about you guys, but I love these. I think I get more out of them than you guys, but that's okay. I'm very selfish like that. So I know Fred's got some exciting news which he's going to share today, and we'll talk to him. But let's do our normal roundup, shall we? Kristen's not here, so she's having some trouble with her internet. She keeps dropping in and out. But anyone want to give us an update where you are, you wonderful people? Who wants to start?
I'll start, Andrew, for once.
Good, Lee. Good on you.
Okay. Well, we're out of lockdown, but that's not the news I was thinking.
Good news.
I've just received email notification because I'm actually on holidays, so I didn't get it at work. But we've had a journal article accepted in a prestigious journal on young people's perspectives of youth homelessness services. So that was pretty exciting. It's not really got anything to do with my author personality, but it's all good and it's all published things.
That's awesome.
So that's my news.
That's great news. Liz, well done. Congrats.
Thanks.
I'll go.
I know, Justine, you've always got good stuff to tell us, haven't you?
Yeah. So last month, I was offered 2 contracts for my children's book, which I turned both of those down because they didn't fit with the alignment that I want with the book. And since then, I'm under negotiations with another publisher. They want all the illustrations done. So I had 3 illustrations still to do. So I've started working on those, and they can see the bigger picture that I can see with the book as well. So, I've been holding in there, like Andrew says, and we'll see what that one comes forward with. I've just been offered a full-time writing gig with a magazine, a quarterly magazine, so as a featured writer. So, for someone that was in the lowest class in English, to now be, a published writer is just mind-blowing to me. So they were my 2 things this month.
That's awesome, isn't it? I love that story, Justine, and you always impress every single month. There's no doubt about it. But I love the fact, I just love that, that it doesn't matter about your qualifications. It doesn't matter academic ability. If you want something badly enough, you can make that happen. So that's a wonderful example of just focus and I guess your desire to make an impact on the world, which is wonderful.
And spell check.
Gotta love spell check. Good job. Who else wants to share some good stuff? Now, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be exciting. You might go, oh, it's not that big a deal, but trust me, every step in this journey, whether it seems like a big deal or not, is a really big deal. So I want to celebrate even the little successes. I mean, Lisa's had something published and Justine's got contracts and got a full-time gig in writing. That's big. That's awesome. Who's just done something little that they're proud of?
Me, Andrew. First of all, I'd like to thank you all guys for. I was at a meeting without being at a meeting on Monday, so that was fabulous. I caught up on it later, and Justine and Debbie both bought a book from me, so really thrilled about that. So thanks so much, Justine. I can thank you personally.
You're welcome.
I've sent you an email as well. Have you got it yet? I don't know.
No.
I was posted on Thursday, so yeah. And yeah, I was at a meeting yesterday. It was like a group meeting. It's not actually an author. It's just a mixture of people. And I was there in person, face to face, holding my book, and I could actually pass it around and people could look at it. So that was really wonderful. And I was able to have a bit of a pitch. And all I said is that I was a 3 times cancer survivor, and they all started applauding me, and it was just crazy. I thought, oh my God. So that really gave me a lot of food for thought, that just how powerful that little sentence was. So, so I'm looking forward to more face-to-face opportunities. So, of course, they don't happen by themselves. You've got to work on them. So, yeah, so I'll start
Good on you, Annie. That's
in
awesome.
around the libraries and things. So, yeah, so that was pretty exciting. It was a small thing, but it was really not worthwhile. It was powerful. So, yeah, it's good.
Well done. Fantastic, Annie. And I think what I'd like to do is I've been since last month, Monica, remember Monica was here, Monica Rosenberg, Rosen something.
Rosenfeld, I think.
Yeah, Rosenfeld, that's it. Thanks, Annie. And since then, I've actually started working with her to help me with my personal branding, but also to help me with my media exposure for my new book. And she's awesome. I just so you all know, if you haven't reached out to her, she's someone very much worth talking to. So Annie, particularly because, I mean, you've got your book, you've got an amazing story. As you know, there's a lot of interest in you and what you've overcome. She can help. So it might be worth, if you haven't already done it, reach out and just have a catch up with her and just have an initial chat. But I can endorse her very, very highly. But well done. That's awesome. Okay. Who else is here that wants to give us a bit of an update on where they're at? That, you might think not a big deal. Trust us, it's a big deal.
Hey, Andrew. So the last time we were on, I had one, I told you all I did these books and followed Cherie's kind of program to get feedback for what I'm doing. And so I had one kid that had given me feedback, and since then I have gotten from 3 more kids. So it's just been an amazing little journey here. And the good news is one of them is a boy. I'm waiting yet for another boy to finish. So he loved the main character, and he also was so interested in the owl characters, and there's a lot of facts in here about it, interesting things about what makes these animals so special. And he's a 6th grader, and I just thought that was, it encouraged me because, I know some kids won't like it because they don't necessarily like animals, but these animals are all animated. They've got personalities. And he just wrote so much stuff. And I can't tell you that, Cherie's little, not little, it's a fabulous tool is what it is. And there's just Post-it notes and little notes like, wow, and so cool and stuff like that. So once I get the last kid's info in, or his booklet to me, I can dig in and make some, changes and incorporate some of the things that the kids talked about, and feel confident, I think, when I get that done, to submit this as a first in a string of stories. So
that's awesome.
Anyway.
Good on you, Peggy, and well done, Cherie, for your help with that too. So
Way to go.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for this book. And can I just say, does anyone know any kids that don't like animals? Let's be honest. All kids like animals. So you've got a captive market for sure.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Well, I
Thank you,
learned-
Peggy, so much for that. Thank you for
Well,
saying that.
I,
Because it's very validating to know that, that the system works. I know it does. And I'm like this weekend, actually the next 2 days, I'm in an publishers conference. So if anybody wants to talk about, there's some really big changes going on, at least on this side of the pond, as they say, when it comes to publishing. We were talking with the new director of Ingram Spark today and Publishers Weekly. So on our side, if anyone has any questions, I'm kind of overwhelmed with information and Zooming. But for me, to you, Peggy, thank you so much, because the book I published is really helpful for people. We were talking about that today in the conference. As a matter of fact, beta testing your work. So, isn't it fun though? I mean, seriously, I just think it's a blast when people give you feedback like that. I mean, it's not all bad. It's not about criticism.
No, it's awesome. Great stuff.
Can I
Justine.
mention something? Yeah, I forgot. I signed up this week to become a Kindle publisher, Amazon publisher, and Audible publisher. So
Okay.
I've signed up
What
to
does
do
that
a course. I've signed up to do a course on how to become an online publisher.
Well, there you go. Justine's a publisher.
Yeah, I will be. Give me 6 months.
Awesome. That's awesome. Good one. That's wonderful. I think, Christina, can you hear us? I don't think she can. I think she's having a lot of trouble with her internet. Okay. Who else is in the room that we need to hear from?
Little old Denise is here, but I don't have a whole lot to say as far as I'm just writing. I'm having Zoom trouble. I don't know if you can hear me okay, can you?
Yes, we can hear you. You're just frozen,
Okay.
but we can hear you.
Okay, because you're stuck on my screen. I had the internet people here yesterday, and they've done pretty much all they can do. So I'm really in a quandary. So that's an issue that I'm going to have to address by buying a Google Mesh. Apparently, there's too many people vying for available Wi-Fi. So anyway, but I got my first haircut in 2 years. My blood levels for my issue with having the bubble boy disease, I've gotten immunity enough that I was allowed to go get a haircut and just to do something normal like that after being quarantined for 2 years after my diagnosis. It was just really a joyful day. I did a lot of giving of hugs on the iPhone to family and friends. I sent hugs to everybody with a picture of me with my haircut. And I look like, imagine short, white, blonde hair, and now long hair like this. It's for my family and friends back home. It's a big difference. And so it's been a joyful day for me, even though I have some problems I'm going to have to deal with Monday.
That's awesome, Denise, and your hair looks beautiful.
Thank you.
And-
It's never, every time I've been on, it's been my natural hair, which is wavy and curly. And this lady blew dried out and made it, she gave me the Jennifer Aniston blow dry.
You got it. You got it. Absolutely.
I felt so pretty. That's why I took a picture and sent it to everybody with bear
Good on you.
hugs. Was because it did make me feel pretty.
And congrats for getting out of your bubble too. That's always exciting to get out of
Yeah,
your
and
bubble.
you know, sometimes if there's nothing wrong, you put a jacket on, okay? Because you look nicer and it makes you feel.
She'll come back in a sec. This happens. Thanks, Denise. We lost you for a second there. We lost your sound for a second. So
Oh, there we go. Say it one more time.
you there?
Yeah, I didn't
Okay,
hear the last
cool.
thing you said.
Oh no, we just said we lost you for a sec. We couldn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm back. I know it's going to be the death of me.
No, it won't be. And well done for your writing. You're moving, which is awesome.
Yes, I
And,
am. I'm moving
and
ahead. And out of that, those first 3 childhood chapters and rewriting them, boy, that was really difficult. But I'm past all that and on to the good, happier stuff that I'm writing the book for. I had to lay the foundation down, which was very hard. It ripped my soul out, but I'm a much better person because of it.
Yeah. Wonderful. That's great news, Denise. Well done. Cole.
Hello, everybody. I feel unable to share a haircut story and somewhat disappointed that I didn't put a jacket on.
What about a polishing story, Cole?
But I'm happy to say that I'm at the stage where I'm putting my final pieces together to launch out into to start sending to publishers, just at the beginning of that pathway, and have done some research on some publishers and sort of just understanding and appreciating the different, I guess, that what they want, what they're seeking, and trying to be really personal and reflective about fitting my content to suit what they're looking for, just in the synopsis and just in the cover letter. So I'm at that stage, and it's an exciting though daunting time, but with some encouragement pushing forward into that this week.
Good, mate. We'll enjoy this part of the journey because, mate, don't worry, you will be published. Yeah, I guarantee it, 100%. So that's awesome, mate. Well done. Now, I think we're going to hear from Fred in a sec, but I want to, Kat, have you got anything you would like to share with us? You've always got a pearl of wisdom or two. And I know it's 7 o'clock in the morning in Perth, so you still, have you had your first coffee yet?
I haven't, and a pearl of wisdom feels a bit grandiose, maybe a plastic bobble.
Okay, whatever you want to say.
No, not really. I crossed the 1 year mark of daily writing.
So for over 1 year of writing every single day.
Yeah, yep.
Now that can we just stop and just? I think that's amazing. That's incredible because now for Kat, this is what she does now, and I can't see it ever changing ever again because but you went through that process. So
yeah, it's definitely. It's just become a lot easier in terms of, I think somebody, I can't remember who now, somebody posted the other day that they only did like a couple of words or whatever. And it's those sort of things I don't really even think about anymore. So there's definitely days where it is only a couple of words, or I reread that sentence that's still not right and look at it and go, it's just still not right. And that might be as much as I can muster. Because that's reality and that's life. And, I've been working 13-hour days and then going, oh, I'll still touch my book, but the reality of what that's going to look like is very different for me right now. And that's okay. And I think a year ago, that wouldn't have been okay. And that would have felt like cheating, and it wouldn't have felt like it was enough. And all that negativity can really cause a spiral of like, well, I'm not actually transferring from how much I wrote to whether or not I am good enough, sort of thing. And now it's just all easier. And yeah, so I guess if I had a pearl, it's just be kind to yourself. Just be kind to yourself, which sounds really stupid, but it's made a big difference to me over the last year to just be a little bit nicer to myself. And I'm not going to be a published author in the next 6 months because I'm not there yet, and that's absolutely fine. And it's been great to see timelines of other people and understand that, and then see where I'm at, and also be fine with that, and just be understanding that this is where I'm at on this journey at this point in time. And it's not depressing and it's not sad. It's just like, oh, okay, that's fine. So we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And then that lets my project partner and I focus on what we are doing and find some joy in it. So it's stopped becoming just a chore. There's still, it's hard work sometimes, but there is joy inside of it. So yeah, I don't know.
That was a pearl. Yeah, a pearl. And I think there's a great lesson there, and that is for sure that the struggles is not writing.
No.
It's never the writing of the book. It's not submitting it to publishers. It's not marketing your book, the problem is always what's going on up here, right? Our thoughts and our beliefs and the noise in our head. There's only one way you can overcome the noise. There's only one way, because the noise will always be there. The only way to overcome it is do what Kat's done, and that's create this unconscious routine now. Because now, even if there's noise, she still does it. It's like, even when we're cranky, we brush our teeth, right? Even when we don't feel like it, we brush our teeth. There are certain things we do every single day and we don't think about it, we don't worry about it, we don't stress about it, we don't negotiate it, we don't debate about it, we just do it because it's just what we do. That's the only way to beat the noise, because we are all humans and we will all have self-doubt. So the only way to beat the noise is invest in that 63 days at least, and create the habits out of the things that are going to give you the results you want in your life. And so that's what Kat's done. And because, I mean, we've spoken about you a lot, Kat, about your journey, but we've been talking for years, right? And you've been halted, and you've been in this stalled pattern for such a long time until you made that decision, right? I've got to be able to negate the noise.
Yeah.
And that's what you've done. So that's really powerful. So well done.
Cheers.
Now, speaking of another person who, has just hung in there and has persisted and has stayed strong, and I have incredible respect for this man, Fred, who is always at the forums. He's always there. He doesn't necessarily say a lot. He just sits there and he takes it all in, and he just goes about his business. He's one of those quiet achievers, and he's got some news. So, Fred, do you want to tell everyone what's going on for you?
Well, first of all, are you sure you're talking about me, Andrew?
Yeah, I am definitely talking about you, Fred.
Okay, all right. I'm a step closer to becoming a published writer. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I have a contract. I sent my manuscript to the publisher, and they just sent it back a couple weeks ago with the first edit. So I'm going through that right now, and I find that very exciting and very happy about it. It's been a 5-year journey. I met this guy named Andrew 5 years ago. I took a class on some form I got, and I didn't finish the class, but he emailed me, and then he called me and we talked. We did a Skype, and I got back into it. And then a couple years ago, I guess, you came to the East Coast, Pennsylvania, and I went out for your program, and I got energized. And it's been give and take and up and down, but it's coming together. I'm very grateful.
Awesome,
I want to thank
mate.
you.
No,
and all of you for your encouragement over the years.
Mate, it's my pleasure, but again, I need to give you got to take the credit, because you've done it. It's actually I've looked before, mate. It's 6 years. It was 2015 when we actually
6 years.
July
Okay.
2015 when we started working together. And look, I want that. For some people, they're going to go, oh no, is it going to take me 6 years? No, not necessarily. But what it does is it gives you hope that it does, as long as you hang in there. This is the lesson of what Fred's done. He has not shied away. He is not, even when things aren't moving, we meet regularly. We just, there were times when not much was happening, and it was just keep going, mate. You're doing well. And if you just stay in the race, stay in the game, stay focused, the result will always happen. It's predictable. It will always happen. And Fred, have you got your cover there? I don't know if
no, I do.
it's just awesome. I love your cover. I might
Let's see.
I might be able to find it, because I know you sent it to me. Anyone got any questions for Fred, or while we're trying to find his questions? Or
What's the title of your book and what's it about, Fred?
yeah, tell us about it, Fred.
Yeah. The title of my book is For the Least of These, Reflections of a Prison Librarian. I used to work at a prison, and the title comes from the book of Matthew in the New Testament. The book is in 2 parts. The first part, some of my experiences working in that environment. The second part is I question examining really why there's so many people of color in the prisons in the United States. And I came to the conclusion that they're in prison in such large numbers because to far too many people, Black lives do not matter. That's the conclusion I came to. I traced the doctrine of discovery, which allowed people from Christopher Columbus to others to go to non-Christian areas and kidnap, kill, take other people. And the church gave them cover for that. Now, I grew up in the church. Went to church 3 or 4 times a week. I consider myself a born-again Christian. And so whenever I came across people that did these things or espoused certain views, my thing was, well, they're not real Christians. But in my research for this book, I realized that there are a lot of ministers, big-time preachers who advocated positions that were anti-Christian or anti-Christ. And so I kind of talk about that a bit.
Here's the, I'll just share the screen so you can, there's his cover, which I think looks awesome.
Wow,
Wow.
that's
Doesn't that look
brilliant.
good?
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, thanks.
So good on you, mate. Well done. That's really exciting. Christina, have we got you here? Can you hear?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh,
And we can see you. So before you disappear again,
Yes.
everyone, this is Christina. She's recently joined the group and she's
Hello.
writing her book, and I'll let her sort of tell a little bit about the unique book she's writing. But welcome, Christina. It's good to have you here. Share,
Thank you.
Just tell us a little bit about who you are and tell a bit about your book.
Okay. I'm writing a book about my parents. They were Second World War amputee. They both lost a leg. So mum in the Blitz in London at 14 and family killed too. And then her husband to be, he was a POW in the death row by Melbourne doctor, actually. Weary Dunlop was the one who recommended it. They fell in love. They came to Australia. They were very courageous. They coped really well with their disability. People loved them. They had that, you know, keep calm, carry on, and we're going to enjoy life to the full attitude. And life was wonderful. And when I was 14, we went back to England and saw the family. It was marvellous, absolutely fabulous. Everyone had been so homesick. We'd been away for 8 years. And when we came back, things actually started to change. My mother was really struggling. Now, I didn't realise it at the time, but she actually left a cassette after my dad passed away, and then she died. And it's taken me 30 years to really listen to this cassette, which I finally did last year, and I transcribed it. It was 28,000 words. And it was a marvellous journey, very quite stressful in many ways. I learned a lot about her and a lot about myself and a lot about their situation. Now, I've actually gone on to become a teacher. I was a mature age student, got into teaching. I did a social science degree, and my main area was conflict resolution. And I kept seeing what her behaviours and her communication style is actually down to the trauma that had been sort of not dealt with. And I thought I was writing a love story until last week. And then Andrew said, you know what, I don't think this is a story about them. And it was such a curveball, and my brain's been going absolutely bananas ever since. And but thank you, because I've kind of seen a whole new approach, because I think that I can now perhaps offer some strategies and some insights into why people act the way they do, because my mother had a marvellous sense of humour, but she was very, very cutting. And, you know, you could say, that was a marvelous meal. So I really enjoyed it. And she'd say, oh, if you don't like it, go down the fish and chip shop. You know, she was a Cockney. And she was badly treated by her immediate family after all this trauma happened. So for 5 years, she felt like she was just at the survival level, and she carried all that resentment with her. So it's been an amazing journey. Even if I do nothing more with it, for me, it has been a real eye-opener as to what was going on. When I left them, because I married and moved out in my life, I was still very close, but that's when things really deteriorated for my mother, because she lost someone who was always there to give her a hand, you know, be an ear to listen to, and sort of was both resorted to too much, where he was, you know, welcome, more alone and more unhappy. So, so the story started off wonderfully. I mean, it was so marvellous. And then it kind of went sour. And whenever I visited, I'd always leave her thinking, I'm not happy. I feel like it's not enough. I haven't succeeded, no matter how hard we tried to please, you know, to be there, to remember and be thoughtful and helpful and everything. And, you know, she just would go back and rewrite everything. I've done 35,000 words on this particular attempt, and now I have to somehow integrate this into these strategies that perhaps might have helped her at the time. So I'm sorry to be long-winded. But these forums, the bits that I've seen, are really, really helpful. So please just let me listen, and you can teach me what I need to know.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, Christina. We had a few little internet issues there, but it sounds like it's going to be a wonderful book, and I think will be a lot of lessons for people to come out of it, because I think it's human behaviour, right? And I think we can all learn from that.
Yeah.
So, and you've certainly learned a lot, and that's impacted your life. So therefore that can impact others. So welcome to the group, and good on you for what you're doing. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I guess I don't want this to be about me, but you know, I honestly, I'm this is about everyone, but I think, you know, I think it's important for you guys to understand how good being an author is. And I know there are a couple of you here that are authors, and you know that, but just to encourage the rest of you. I mean, I think a lot of you have seen on Facebook, and, you know, I posted a couple of things on Facebook that finally my book, Tears of Joy, has arrived, and it was of an emotional moment, I can tell you. And it's interesting that, you know, 8th book, and I'm not sure who, I think it was Annie asked me at the start before everyone else arrived, you know, how does it feel? Is it any different? Well, it's different, but is it any less? No, not at all. Like, and if anything, I think with every book that you write, there's a layering effect. And, you know, I know with this one, this one is different, you know, and this one is because I'm different. And this book, yeah, like I've got this feeling in my gut that it's going to have an impact on the world. I really do. And, you know, and I think I guess the other thing I want to say is, and I posted a short little video that I put on the Facebook page, but what that is not just a book. You know, we look at a book and we see words and pages, and that's not what that is. That's not what that is at all. You know, that this book represents my life, really, and what I've learned, the mistakes I've made, the heartbreaks, the suffering, the overcoming, you know, that's why and that's for all of you. I mean, Annie, that's your book too, right? Like, it's not a book, yeah, there's the nice messages and it's feel good, but it's more than that. I mean, for you, it's this journey that you've been on. And Denise, you're writing about your journey, and you know, Fred, your experiences, and Justine, the things you've overcome. And so I just I think I just want to encourage you guys more than ever right now in this moment for me, which is, you know, I'm excited. It's, you know, it's all about my new book, and there'll be launches coming up, and a whole lot of fun things are going to be happening. But at the end of the day, this book represents a desire for me to not be perfect, but a desire for me to help people maybe avoid some of the mistakes I've made, and I've made plenty, as I think we all have, or certainly learn from those mistakes and be inspired to live their best life. I mean, that's my whole thing. And I think you're all the same, right? We're all here because we want to help people live their best life. We want to share stuff. So it's a big deal. What you're doing is a big deal. And I think we often minimize it. Oh, it's just a book and I'll get to it when I've got time, or, you know, I'll put it on the back burner. The amount of times I've heard people say, oh, I'm putting it on the back burner. Well, let me tell you, your book does not belong on the back burner. Your book belongs very much on the front, the biggest flame on the front burner, that's for sure, because once it's written, this is the thing, when you've got it in your hands and when it's published forever. It's out there, and things change in your life. They change in your life. And yeah, my life changed 17 years ago. Actually, it was probably 19 years ago when I made a decision to write my first book. My life changed. And yeah, anyway, just wanted to encourage you all and say it's worth it, and, you know, hang in there. And you know, Fred, I'm incredibly respectful for 6 years journey, and even longer than that, because you bought the online program before that, so it's probably pushing towards 10 years, but you're there. And you know, soon you'll hold that book in your hand, Fred, and I can't wait to celebrate that with you. And Justine, soon you're going to hold your book, and every one of you are going to hold your book in your hand. And it's just, yeah, it's a pretty amazing feeling. So
Congratulations, Andrew. And what's the best part about you, Andrew, is that you walk the talk. You don't just sort of guide us and suggest things to us. You actually do it yourself. So I think that's brilliant.
thanks, Annie, and I appreciate that. And I think Paul and I had a meeting earlier today, and he said the same thing. And I said, well, the moment I stop writing is the moment I stop mentoring, the moment that I'll stop doing this, because, I mean, as Cherie just said, you know, everything's changing, right? Like publishing is changing, everything's changing, writing's changing. You know, the moment I stop doing it, I'm no longer an effective coach or teacher. So I appreciate it, Annie, but don't worry, I'm going to be doing this until I'm well over 100 years old, that's for sure.
So I'm going to ask you the question now that you ask us, Andrew.
Yep.
When's your next book?
Well, I'm halfway through it.
Oh, really?
Yep. I'm halfway through it.
Oh, that's so bad. Well, you make me feel bad now.
Well, because, and the thing
No,
is, Annie,
no.
because I write now, you know, for me, like Kat, and I did the 63-day thing at the start of 2017. And I have not missed one day since January 1, 2017. Now, even up to that point, I was writing probably most days, but so what's that? That's 4 years, nearly 4 years now.
I think we did it. It was a week or so ago. We did that. It was like 18. It was just shy of 2,000 days or something like that.
Yeah. And when you write, Annie, books come out. That's the product of writing. And so even when I finished a book, I don't go, well, I've finished now, put my feet up, I'm onto the next book. So yeah, so next one's on the way.
Awesome.
Anyone got any other thoughts, comments, questions for anyone? Maybe Cherie, it would be nice to hear from you a little bit. You mentioned there's a lot of changes happening in the US anyway, in that publishing space. Do you want to give us a little bit of a précis or a couple of minutes overview of what sort of some of the key changes that are going to happen?
I think the main topics that they were all talking about was supply chain shortages, just the ability to get things printed within a timely fashion, the changing of paper, the attempted consolidation of the big 5 publishers, which was shot down, which was good. That news came out the other day. Independent publishers are pretty much being gobbled up at a rampant pace, and that's a concern for a lot of people because we need those small independent publishers. And yeah, I think I was listening to Kevin Byron. He's with the Publishers Weekly, and he talked to us about reviews and book life and how it's changing and things are going online. But the demand for books, the good news is the demand for books is huge. So yeah, the whole marketing from perspective as far as the number of books, the demand has been really very large. So there's never been a better opportunity to publish a book. Just you have to just remain focused and know what you can accomplish. It always comes out at these conferences. You know, we all want to write a book, and I've never met an author that didn't want to do one thing: write for a living, right? They want to quit their day job and write their book. Well, that is awesome, and that is absolutely doable. So keep that focus in mind, but also keep track of what's going on and what you can accomplish on your own, because we often get so far off track trying to market and trying to do social media and trying to be our own editors and trying to be our own book cover coaches. So just kind of get a realistic picture of what it takes to do your publishing. I know people ask me, and I tell them, if you don't have about $3,000 to invest, you probably don't want to try and independently publish in the US. It can be done a lot less if you can do your own book design, your own cover design, your own interior design. If you know how to convert your books to EPUB so that you can also put it up. I, outsourced a lot of that, and I also paid for professional editors, but I found it all to be quite worth it. So that's the good news, though. I mean, it's a great time to be published, no matter what your topic is. And people are looking for a lot of help. So if your book has a message that is helpful to people, I've been my husband and I signed up for classes for 6 weeks on a Wednesday night. And it's about examining your beliefs. And it's incredible when you get to the bottom line of what you actually believe and how that reflects your reality. And so I try to stay focused, touch my books and my products every day. And I've accomplished that. I've published a book, and I've got 2 mid-grade that are finished. I was actually asked for a full manuscript request on one that I just did. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so it's a roller coaster, though, the highs and the lows, but you have to understand that's what's exciting about life. And I don't want to do this, I don't want to go, I just, I'm fine with the low lows as long as I get to experience the good stuff. And you will. Yeah, if you just keep at it every day and stay focused. So that's why I come here, to understand that, hey, this is awesome when I see what Kat's accomplished and Fred and, and Peggy validates what I've done. This is so fun. Thank you.
Welcome, and thank you for sharing. That's awesome, and so true, isn't it? I mean, every journey is highs and lows and ups and downs and encouragement and discouragement and times where you're in fetal position on the floor and having a tantrum, and other times when you're on top of the world. And the focus is the key thing, and the focus is on not just your book, but focus on the result of that book. I mean, I talk a lot about, and even recently, it's just been coming into a lot of the stuff I talk about, is that moment for me when, you've all heard this ad nauseum, but that moment for me when I was in $100,000 debt, I had no life, no time, nothing. And I remember just that moment. That was the triggering moment for me when I stopped asking myself, what do I want to do? And I started asking myself, how do I want to live? I asked myself, in the lowest point in my life, thinking this could not get any worse, in debt, no life, struggling in every area of my life, going, how do I want to live? And just thinking, lifting my head up, going and visualizing money and time and impact and success and health and well-being. And it was that moment where I got the idea to write a book. That's when that idea came. The first time I'd ever thought about writing a book came in this moment when I got some clarity around my vision of why, the why. It's the why that'll get, it's not holding the book. I mean, holding the book, don't get me wrong, is a beautiful, beautiful feeling. I love the smell of the pages. I love it. I love this. But that's not why I wrote the book. I want everyone to experience tears of joy. I want people to live their best life. And I know, I know that the book will do that, but I also know it's going to open doors of opportunity for me and help me live my best life. So I think the focus piece is critical, particularly when, you're at this forum. Unfortunately, most of the people that need to be here aren't here. The one that need to hear this message. But just know that wherever you're at in the journey, whether you're up, on a peak and feeling good, or you're at the bottom struggling, just know it will change. It will change if you stay focused on what you want for your life and really keep moving. So thanks, Cherie. Anyone else want to just share? We've got a few more minutes. Just anyone else want to share thoughts, ideas, questions?
Just a message for Christina. Christina, I'm an amputee, so if you've got any questions answered or anything, yeah, feel free to contact me. Can't hear you.
You're on mute, Christina.
Is that better? Have I
Yes,
unmuted?
that is.
Amazing. Thank you very much for that offer, Annie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just got to put my glasses on. I guess I'd like to know how you became an amputee.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Well,
It was quick.
yeah,
Annie,
I
give us
had
a quick
cancer.
overview. Yep.
I had cancer. I had bone cancer.
Oh
I
dear.
had bone cancer
Okay.
when I was 26 years old, and that was the only option, to have my leg amputated. It was in the knee, so it was to have my leg amputated. Either that or I would die. So, so I really had no choice. It's like your parents, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's exactly the same for them. It will or die.
But isn't it amazing how here's Annie now on one leg, but inspiring people? And here's Justine with all her challenges, inspiring people, and here's Denise with all her challenges, inspiring people.
And Andrew, you can pass along what I did. I sent you pictures this week. I wrote with a magic marker on a piece of paper, "I am a writer, I will write today." And I taped it to my microwave, and I taped it to the mirror in my bathroom. And it helps when you're young and you're new and you're not published yet and you're trying to stay motivated. I found myself in a little bit of a slump. And so I saw that in the two main rooms I go to, and it was inspiring. I was like, yes, I am a writer and I will write today. And I went and I wrote. And so for newbies, you can tell them that's a great phrase. I am a writer, I will write today.
That is perfect, Denise. That is so great, because you're all writers, and I even say this because remember, affirmation is powerful. Words are powerful. You will get what you speak. Yeah. So whatever you speak, you will create.
Yeah, and I spoke it. Every time I saw it, I said, I am a writer and I will write today.
Exactly. And
yes,
you're all authors too, even though you may not be published yet. You're an author. You're in the process of getting your first book published.
I'm saving that title for when I do what you did today and hold up a book. Then I will call myself an author. Until then, I'm a writer.
All right. Okay, that's fine.
I'm saving that. I'm saving that as my congratulatory title.
Okay, sounds awesome. Well, how are we going? Anyone got anything else they want to share, or maybe we might wrap it up today. But good on you all again for being here. I'm always grateful that you're here. I'm very respectful of everything that you're doing, and proud of all of you, no matter where you're at and what's going on. You're all wonderful, 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 and I'm very blessed to have you in my life. So stay tuned. We'll have another forum in 5 weeks, so that'll be early December. That'll be the I think actually 4th. I'll send it out. It'll either be the 4th or the 11th of December, or for the Americans it'll be the 3rd or the 10th. Okay, but I'll let you know. I'll decide when. I'll be doing. There's going to be a couple of launches happening. I'm going to be doing a launch for my book in that period of time, so it'd be great if you can join that. That'd be awesome. And I know there's some of you you've seen Carol Cook, the Paralympian. Yeah, so she was just in Tokyo, and I don't know if any of you saw her in Tokyo. She had a little bit of a mishap. She had a fall on her bike on the road race.
Absolutely terrible. And then got
So-
stuck there.
Yeah, she tells this story, and I said, "Wow, this is your next book, Carol." She tells the story of the hospitals in. She said, "You do not want to go be in hospital in Tokyo. They don't use painkillers or anesthetic." So she had all these treatments, operation, and like no anesthetic. She said it was the most painful. And this is an Olympian, right? Who goes through pain on a regular basis.
Who had their mess?
The most pain she had this fall. But anyway, she's going to be doing a launch. We discussed the launch, so I'll let you all know about that too. So, and I think this community is amazing, and we're also supportive and encouraging. So I know that when you've got your book and you're ready to launch, we'll do a launch for you, and it'll be fun and exciting and a wonderful celebration. So anyway, you all have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all over the course of the next month, and certainly at the next forum. So keep up the great work, guys.
Okay.